Hi guys, it's Lisa and I'm here with a book review. Now, this book was a hard read for me. It took me a long time to read this, and this is a true story. It's called Not Without My Sister. It says the true story of three girls violated and betrayed. In the back it says the true story of three sisters betrayed in the name of love, deprived of their childhood, and robbed of their innocence. This is the book. This book is by Kristina Jones, Celeste Jones, and Juliana Buhring, I think. Okay, I'm going to read to you what it's about. The devastating first-hand account of three sisters' courageous struggle to escape a perverse community that robbed them of their childhood. Kristina, Celeste, and Juliana were born into a cult, the children of God, but their experiences were a world away from the traditional Christian understanding of love and forgiveness. The organization that was entrusted with their care practiced physical and mental torture, thought control, pornography, prostitution, and horrific acts of sexual abuse. From as early as 3 years old, some cases 2, well, 2 for other kids, but from as early as 3 years old, the three sisters were treated by their guardians as sexual beings. They received love letters and sexual advances from men old enough to be their grandfathers, and were forced into openly abusive relationships. They were denied access to formal schooling, forced to wander the streets begging for money, and were mercilessly beaten for crimes as unpredictable as reading an encyclopedia. Here, all three sisters who suffered the worst forms of abuse and were torn apart from each other have finally been reunited. In Not Without My Sister, they relive their experiences of how they survived and then escaped a cult that has claimed the lives and innocence of thousands of its members. Theirs is a horrific story of perversion and loss, but ultimately it is an account of immense love and immeasurable bravery. This book, very well written. It's an account of what happened. The girls' accounts. They each have their own little section in the book where they talk about what happened to them. Now, like I said, it was a hard read for me. I had to read a little bit. I'd put it down and come back to it 2-3 weeks later, something like that. You know, it just, when it got to be too much, I had to put it down. Now, I can't really say that I liked it or I didn't like it because of the type of book that it is, but I can say that I will give it a 10 because of the way that it was written, not necessarily because of the story, because the story was supposedly the father would have to go away for years, sometimes at a time. They would take the children and send them to other guardians to raise for a little while, and why in these homes sometimes the people would abuse them, would rape them, would, you know, whatever, all in the name of love. Is basically, this is what God said you're supposed to do. You're supposed the mothers, to raise money for the family, as they called it, would have to go out and prostitute themselves, and they called it flirty fishing. So when the mother went out, it was called flirty fishing. They would have what they called dates in the household, where the girls would have to go on dates with sometimes a grown man or the little boys at their age, whatever, just a male in the house. And like it said on the introduction of the story, it says that they would go with men that were older than they are. Sorry guys, I'm kind of choked up because this was a lot for me. I'm not saying too much more about this book, but very well written. It tells us of what these girls went through, that things like this does exist, that there are cults out there that are like this or worse. These girls finally decided that they were going, when they got to be a little older, they were allowed to leave, you know, whatever. It says here in the back that, I'm going to read this part. Kristina, Celeste, and Juliana were all born into the children of God to the same Father. Christopher Jones, who remains a member of the organization, Kristina and Celeste shared the same mother. The three girls were separated from each other and their mothers at an early age and have lived in various missions throughout the world, often under the care of foster parents. Kristina was 12 years old when her mother kidnapped her from the cult. Celeste remained in the group until her mid-20s. Juliana was only able to free herself at the age of 23. Only recently have the three sisters been reunited. These three girls have campaigned to raise public awareness about cults and the dangers that young people can face under their influence. It says that Celeste went to a university to study psychology. Juliana is studying psychology and philosophy and is still in touch with their other siblings who remain in the cult. So that's pretty much that, guys. I picked this one up from, it was an online book site. I can't think of it, Doubleday Book Club, but Not Without My Sister by Kristina Jones, Celeste Jones, and Juliana Buhring. Alright guys, I am going to give this book away, so if you're interested I can't even talk, I'm so choked up. If you're interested in this book, just leave a comment down below and I will choose the winner in the next couple of days. Alright guys, thank you for watching, for listening, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. So take care, be good, try to be good, but if you can't be good, be good at it. Really?